There's a rapping at your door and there's someone on the mat. You look through the peephole and you straighten your hat, but nobody's there, no one at all. And then you hear a tapping on your kitchen wall. He's just another gnome. He's standing in your home, that's what he does if you let him. He's in your kitchen now. He's really itching now to whip up a feast just for you. He grabs your bags full of rice that you were saving for a curry, and he looks in your eyes, you see he's not in a hurry. And now he's picking up your pan and he's heating up the rice. He's boiling it up, he'll cook it once, he'll cook it twice, and then he cooks it again, and then he cooks it once more. And he's spilling other grains of rice on the kitchen floor. And you tell him to stop, you shout that it's done, but he grins and he winks, and now he's really having fun. He takes the pan of rice and puts it back on the hob. He turns up the heat by rotating the knob, and the rice starts to burn to the base of the pan. This is all fun if you're a terrible man. Well, he's just another gnome. He's standing in your home, overcooking your rice. That's his kind of thing. And then he puts on your hat to some impressions of you. They're slightly over the top, but drawn from things that are true. He mimics your voice, a high to nasally tone, harsh but accurate, the way of the gnome. He's just another gnome. He's got a microphone, so his impressions really hit home. And now you're running through the meadows, running down to the river, and you fall to your knees, and now you're starting to shiver. And you look to your left, and then you look to your right, and then you look at the sky. Oh, what a terrible night. But then you look to the right, and then you look to the left. Then you meander back home, check on your uninvited guest. The kitchen is empty, rice litters the floor. There'll be no curries tonight, of that he made sure. Well, your pans have been ruined, at least he left them to soak. You stare and you sigh, was this all just a joke? But you know that's not his style, that's not why he came. You know in your heart that you were to blame. This was the gnome's revenge for all those things that you did. You murdered his friends and his cat and his pig and his lover and brother and his little pet mouse. And you left him for dead when you burnt down his house. And you stole his photo albums, dropped them all in a pit. There wasn't a crime that you wouldn't commit. And tonight was the night that the gnome made things square. His vengeance was sweet, his vengeance was fair. He's just another gnome. He hasn't got a home, but he don't mind, not when he's cooking rice. Another gnome. He's out there on his own, remembering his impressions with pride. Well, they were harsh but accurate, the way of the gnome. Harsh but accurate. This is the way of the gnome.